Hey guys, I'm going to show you today a couple things that you can do before you work out, no matter the workout that you have planned, that will help prepare your lower back specifically for the work that you're about to do. So a lot of times when you come from work, you've worked all day, 8 hours, you've been sitting, you've been driving, you have to understand the amount of time that you've been in that flexed position and how it puts your lower back at a disadvantage when you go to work out. So if you're gonna go lift weights, if you're gonna go do a boot camp style workout, or even if you're gonna go for a run, you have to prepare your lower back for what's to come. So I'm gonna give you 8 things that you should do before you start a workout. They don't need to take very long. It really will depend on how much tightness you have and what kind of issues you're working through in your lower back, hips, and in your glutes. So I'm gonna shift the focus of all of this stuff to your glutes, starting with the foam roller. When you come in before a workout, you should foam roll everything. Your upper back, your lats, your quads, ITs, all that stuff. What I'm gonna just demonstrate really quickly is how to foam roll the glutes, because it's a little bit of an awkward position that some people don't really understand how to feel correctly. So I'm gonna come on down with the foam roller right here, and I'm gonna focus on the right glute first. So I'm gonna shift. I'm gonna cross my leg first. Cross my leg here, and then I'm gonna shift to the right side. This works a lot better with one of those longer foam rolls, but this is all I have right now. So you're just gonna shift around looking for pain and discomfort, and I just found it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold this for 30 to 60 seconds, having that glute just kind of hopefully relax. And as you can see, I'm pretty high up on that glute. After I've held it for about 30 to 60 seconds, I'm gonna then roll to a different part of the glute. So when I'm ready, finishing that side, I'm gonna switch over, exact same thing on the other side. I'm gonna roll around, find that tension. Might have to move over, like right about there is where I found it. Hold that again, let it release, relax, and then move on. You could spend 3 minutes per side, whatever, really it's whatever it takes to help open the area up, relax it, and release some of that tension that you've built up over the day from sitting. So foam rolling is gonna be first. The second thing that I want you to do is take a black mini band. The black mini bands are the most resistance. They offer the most resistance, so they're the hardest of the small mini bands. What you're gonna do is put this around mid-calf. So about halfway between your knee and your ankle. Make sure that it's situated evenly. You don't want it to be all bound up and twisted. You want to make sure it's nice and smooth. What you're going to do are some single leg mini band steps. I recommend 20 each leg just to get a nice burn going on in the glute. If you need to, you can support yourself. I'm going to go with the right leg first. If you don't need a support, you're just going to bring your hands on your hips. Your toe is going to point forward. So you don't want your toe to turn out this way, because you're going to shift the focus into the inside of the quad, right in here. It's called the vastus medialis. It's right here around the knee. It's going to come up into the adductor, maybe into the sartorius muscle, up into the quads here. We don't want that. We want to shift this to the glute, my right side glute. The foot is never going to touch the ground, at least not yet. You want to try not to lean like this, so stand up nice and tall, push your hips forward, stabilize on this leg. This leg, by the way, is going to get some work. So we're going 20 each leg, maintaining that toe pointing forward, maybe a little internal rotation. Get your 20, shift on over to the other leg. Going to get another 20 on this side, same thing. Watch that foot, don't let it turn out like this. Keep it pointed forward. So you might start feeling this up into your hip flexors, down into your quads, your glutes, all the way around your hip. Totally normal. Don't freak out if you don't feel it in your glute, but pay attention to where you are feeling it, because that area may need to be worked on. Stretching, flexibility, mobility, strengthening, all kinds of different things. So pay attention to where you're feeling it. Next one I want you to move on to is going to be the mini band side step. Still keep this mini band on your mid calf. You're going to go 50 total. Make sure you work evenly on each side so you get everything worked, you're going to start by dropping down into a partial rep squat with your feet wide apart, toes pointing forward. You're going to go step, we'll go this direction first, step but still maintaining tension on the band. You don't want to get your feet so close together that the band loses the tension and then starts slipping down your leg. So we're going to go here, big step, over, big step. The other thing you want to pay attention to here is that your knees, you're resisting a big tight rubber band. So make sure your knees stay pointed forward, your toes stay pointed forward, and that you don't lose control. A lot of times what we'll see is stuff like this. The knees internally rotate, they kind of buckle inward, or people begin to compensate by just trying to get through it by widening their toes out. You want to bring all that in, square it up, toes pointing forward, big steps. This one right here, I'm starting to feel it. So 50 total, 25, 25, and you're just going to go evenly on either side. So the next one is going to be the squat to stand with rotation. Really what this one is going to be doing is getting into your hips, your adductors, your hamstrings, maybe a little bit of your lower back, thoracic spine. You're going to start with your feet a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. You're going to come down, keeping your knees soft like you would in a stiff-legged deadlift. Reach for your toes. If you need to bend your knees to get there, totally fine. Drop your butt. You're going to rotate up, push your butt back, get a nice little stretch. Rotate to the other side. And this isn't something that you're going to hold like a static stretch. You're just going to keep moving, keeping your knees apart. Look up at that arm that you're rotating up so you can feel it all through the middle of your back. The next one that I want you to do is you're going to lay flat on your back, and we're going to do what are called glute squeezes. So I just want you to do 10. Pretty much what you're going to do is relax your entire body flat on your back. You're going to focus on squeezing your glutes 50%. So both glutes. You're going to tighten them up, hold for 2 seconds, and then relax. Tighten them up, hold for 2 seconds, relax. You're going to do that 10 times, making sure that one side isn't dominating over the other, which may be difficult to do. Do your best. Flat on your back. Get into a comfortable position. You're not going to be able to see this, but I'm just going to squeeze my glutes, relax. Squeeze my glutes, relax. So just like that. You're focusing on contracting, relaxing, contracting, relaxing. That's it. 50-50. Don't let one butt cheek do more work than the other. The next one that we're going to do is the single leg stiff-legged deadlift. You're not going to use weight for this. You're not loading it just yet. The goal is to get a little bit of a dynamic mobility in the hamstring, but also focusing on retracting your shoulder blades, which just means pulling them together. You're just pretending that you're holding weight. So choose a leg. I'm going to start on my right leg. There's a soft bend in my knee. I'm going to pretend I'm just going to hold my arms this way. The glute of the leg that's coming back is contracted. So I'm tightening up that glute, and I'm going to stop right about here because I can feel if I go any lower, I'm going to break that form with my back. I'm hinging back up, trying not to touch my foot to the floor. This is a challenge and balance. If you need to touch your toe down, no big deal. Touch it down, restart. Not a big deal. But I'm turning on that glute. I'm stretching this hamstring. My mid-back is contracting. Then you're just going to switch legs. This is going to be 10 each leg. So core is nice and tight. You might find that you have better balance on one side than the other. Pause for a second. Always maintain perfect control with this stuff. That's the thing too. So back stays flat. I don't care about how low I get here. This is not important to me. Touching the floor, not important. Maintaining good form, keeping that back leg up with that glute firing, that's what's important to me in this movement. I'm going to then go onto my stomach in the prone position for Supermans. I'm going to go 10 of these. I'm going to contract the entire side, the entire posterior chain, from traps, middle back, low back, glutes, hamstrings, everything that's going to work for me. As I come down, I'm going to relax, come back up, hold, back down, relax. 10 of these. So come on down flat on the floor. You're going to start relaxed, face down, come up, holding for 1 to 2 seconds, tightening up your glutes. So on the way down, you're completely relaxed. On the way up, everything on the backside of your body is helping you come back up. Last one's going to be the prone, eyes, Ys, and Ts. This is purely a scapular retraction exercise. So you want to relax everything from the lower back down. So your legs are going to be completely relaxed. You're going to go thumbs up like you're hitchhiking. This is your I position. This is your Y position. This is your T position. You're going to go 30 of these. You can do all 10 in the I, all 10 in the Y, all 10 in the T, or you can go 1, 2, 3. I'm going to demonstrate how to do this. Face down the entire time. So there would be 3 of the I's. I'm coming Y, three of the Y's, now I'm going 3 of the T's. So again, you would do 10 of each of those, however you'd like. If you want to do all 10 I's, 10 Y's, 10 T's, however you'd like to do, it's up to you. What you want to focus on though is pulling your shoulder blades together when you come up. You don't want to lift your chest up off the floor. You don't want to use your legs and your glutes to get you up. It's all about building mobility, stability in the scapula across the shoulder blade area. You might start feeling it in your shoulders if you have any shoulder injuries, tension, tightness. The shoulders are probably going to start getting worked and really feeling this. So that is completely normal. It's not a big deal, but something to be aware of. If you have restriction on one side, like for myself, I have an old shoulder injury which causes me some restriction and limited range of motion. That I feel this side coming up, this side not as much. So this just draws awareness to things that are happening in my body, and this is what you want to use these exercises for, is to bring awareness into what's happening to your body. You can acknowledge it, identify it, and then address it, because if you don't know what's wrong, you don't know how to fix it. So these are a couple things that I want you to start doing before you work out, just to prepare your lower back, have things start feeling a little bit better. You know, get rid of some of that glute amnesia that you've built up throughout the day. Remember, if you're sleeping 7 and 9 hours, you get up, you go to work, then you sit for another 7 and 9 hours. You got to get up and move. That's a lot of time in a flexed or dysfunctional position. So if you get up, move around, and then head to the gym and you start trying to do all this crazy stuff, that's when people get injured. That's when lower backs get aggravated, and then you have chronic injuries that build up over time. So take good care of your lower backs, get those glutes, wake them up a little bit. Glutes are never really asleep. No muscle can turn off, but essentially what we're trying to do is kind of wake them back up and allow them to do the job that they need to do. The last thing I want to show you, and this is an exercise that I recommend to those of you who sit a lot throughout the day, just to protect your hips and your lower back. In Kelly Starrett's book, Becoming a Supple Leopard, it's called the couch stretch. It is an awesome hip opener, extender, and immediately is one of those things after I fly in an airplane that I try to get off, you know, when I get off, get to my hotel. This is the one I do right away because it completely eliminates any issues that I might have in my lower back. So I'm going to show it to you on the bench right over here. What you're going to want to do is probably have something soft under your knee because you're going to be in a kneeling position. One leg's going to be coming out, kind of like a Bulgarian split squat. You're going to come down. You're going to tighten up your glute of the leg that's back. And right now I'm pretty tight, so I can't even get my knee to the floor. As I hold this longer, I will be able to get it a little bit lower, but you want to try to keep your head up And as you can see, I mean, this is really stretching all the way down into my hip. Eventually I'd be able to get that leg down there. Hold this for 30 to 60 seconds. You're gonna switch legs right there. I mean, immediately just opens up all this. Less issue in my lower back, less issue in my hip. So if you're a runner, you squat, you deadlift, you load your body with weight. This is definitely a stretch I recommend when you're warm, after you work out. Give it a shot. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. Thanks.